Your grandparents grew massive gardens without breaking their backs, and they never bought fertilizer or spent hours weeding. They used 7 techniques that modern gardening forgot, and I'm about to bring them back. Everyone's talking about no-till, sheet mulching, and companion planting, but these 7 hacks go deeper. They're the lost methods that triple your harvest while you do half the work. One of them eliminates 90% of weeding permanently. Another builds soil so rich you'll never fertilize again. And the back-saving technique in hack number 5 will change how you garden forever. Drop a comment right now telling me what country you're watching from. Then let me show you how to grow more food with almost zero effort. Welcome back to Verdant Garden, where we resurrect old gardening wisdom that actually works better than modern techniques. The organic gardening world is obsessed with new methods, expensive inputs, and complicated systems. But our grandparents and great-grandparents grew abundant food with almost no money, minimal effort, and zero back pain. How? They used techniques passed down through generations, methods that worked so well they didn't need alternatives. Then industrial agriculture happened. Chemical fertilizers replaced compost, herbicides replaced mulch, rototillers replaced hand tools. We abandoned techniques that sustained families for centuries in favor of products that corporations could sell us. But those old methods never stopped working. They've just been forgotten. I've spent 3 years testing these 7 hacks, and they've transformed my garden from a high-maintenance chore into a low-effort food factory. My back pain is gone, my weeding time dropped by 90%, and my yields doubled. And I spend maybe 2 hours per week maintaining 800 square feet of production. This isn't theory. This is practical, tested, and ready for you to implement. Let's go hack by hack. Hack 1. Deep mulch permanent pathways. And this is the foundation that makes everything else easier. Here's how it works. You establish permanent raised beds or growing areas that you never walk on, separated by permanent pathways that you never plant in. The pathways get covered with 8 to 12 inches of wood chips, straw, or shredded leaves. This thick mulch layer does 3 things simultaneously. First, it eliminates pathway weeds forever. Weed seeds can't germinate through that much mulch. Even persistent weeds like bindweed struggle to penetrate. Once established, you add a fresh inch or 2 of mulch annually, and pathways stay weed-free for years. Second, it creates a spongy, comfortable walking surface that drastically reduces impact on your joints. Walking on 12 inches of wood chips feels like walking on a cushioned gym floor. Your knees, hips, and back absorb less shock with every step. Over a season, this adds up to thousands of steps with reduced strain. Third, over time, the bottom layers of mulch decompose into rich humus that you can scoop up and add to growing beds. You're building soil while creating pathways. It's dual-purpose genius. Here's the setup. Mark out beds 3 to 4 feet wide, whatever width you can reach across comfortably without stepping into the bed. Pathways between beds should be 18 to 24 inches wide, enough for a wheelbarrow. Once you've established this layout, it never changes. The beds stay beds, the paths stay paths. No rototilling, no reconfiguring every year. Source free or cheap mulch from arborists, who often give away wood chips, or municipal leaf collection programs in fall. Even straw bales, which cost $4 to $6 each, provide enough mulch for significant pathway coverage and last multiple years. The back-saving impact is immediate. No more bending over to weed pathways, no more compacting soil by walking where you're growing, no more shifting beds every season and losing the benefit of permanent mulch. Hack 2. Lasagna gardening, also called sheet composting, and this builds incredibly rich soil with zero digging. You're layering organic materials directly on top of existing ground, even grass or weeds, and letting decomposition create planting beds. Here's the method. Lay down cardboard or thick layers of newspaper over the area you want to convert into a garden bed. This smothers existing vegetation without tilling. Wet the cardboard thoroughly. Now you start layering. Alternate between brown materials, carbon-rich stuff like straw, shredded leaves, or wood chips, and green materials, nitrogen-rich stuff like grass clippings, kitchen scraps, or manure. A typical lasagna bed, 3 to 4 inches of browns, 2 to 3 inches of greens. Repeat until you have a bed 12 to 18 inches tall. Top it with 2 to 3 inches of finished compost or quality topsoil. Water the whole thing thoroughly. What happens? The cardboard kills grass and weeds by blocking light. The layers decompose over weeks to months, settling into nutrient-dense soil that didn't require a single shovel turn. The back-saving element? Zero digging. You're not turning sod, removing grass, or double-digging beds. You're stacking materials and letting decomposition do the work. Even people with severe back issues can build lasagna beds because the heaviest lifting is moving bales or bags of materials, which you do once. Timing matters. Build beds in fall and they're ready for spring planting. Build in spring and you can plant immediately into the top compost layer while lower layers decompose over the season. Either way, you've created a bed with minimal effort and incredible fertility.
Hack 3. Chop and drop mulching. And this is how you fertilize and mulch simultaneously while eliminating yard waste hauling. The concept is simple but powerful. Instead of removing plant material from your garden, you cut it and leave it where it falls or move it to nearby beds as mulch. Examples: when your pea plants finish producing, don't pull them. Cut them at soil level with pruners, leaving roots in the ground. Chop the vines into 6 to 12-inch pieces and spread them around other plants as mulch. Those pea roots, which fix nitrogen, decompose in place, feeding soil. The vines on top suppress weeds and retain moisture. When cover crops like clover or buckwheat reach maturity, mow or cut them down and leave the clippings as a thick mulch layer. This is called a green manure. The vegetation decomposes, releasing nutrients exactly where your plants need them. Even weeds, before they seed, can be chopped and dropped. Pull or cut them, lay them on pathways or around plants, and they become free mulch and fertilizer. You're turning a problem into a resource. The benefits compound. You're not hauling material to compost bins and then hauling finished compost back to beds. You're composting in place. Labor cut in half. You're not buying mulch or fertilizer because you're generating both from garden waste. Costs eliminated. The back-saving impact? No bending over to collect waste, no carrying heavy compost, no repetitive shoveling. You cut, drop, and move on. The most physical part is the cutting, which is far easier than digging or hauling. This hack works best with abundant plant material. The more you grow, the more you have to chop and drop, creating a self-perpetuating system of fertility. Hack 4. Trench composting, a technique so old it's prehistoric, yet almost nobody does it anymore. You bury organic waste directly into garden beds where it decomposes in place, feeding plants and building soil structure. Here's how. Dig a trench 6 to 12 inches deep between rows of plants or in bed areas that aren't currently planted. Fill the trench with kitchen scraps, coffee grounds, eggshells, garden clippings, whatever organic waste you have. Cover it back up with soil. Walk away. The waste decomposes underground, feeding plant roots directly and attracting worms which aerate and enrich soil. You can do this in active beds. Dig a trench down the center of a bed where you plan to plant a row of heavy feeders like tomatoes or squash. Fill it with waste, cover, plant on either side of the trench. As the buried material decomposes, roots grow toward it, accessing nutrients exactly when they need them. In winter or between growing seasons, trench across entire beds. By spring, the waste is fully decomposed and integrated, and you have rich, fluffy soil ready for planting. The genius of trench composting? No compost bin to turn, no waiting months for compost to finish, no transporting finished compost to beds. You're composting in place, labor cut in half. You're putting waste exactly where you want the fertility, and decomposition happens underground, hidden from pests and odors. And here's the kicker. Trenches can be dug in fall when soil is soft and you're not rushed. Spread the work over weeks, digging one trench at a time. Fill them throughout winter. By spring, they're gold mines of fertility with zero additional effort. Hack 5. The tall bed transformation. And this is the ultimate backsaver. Traditional garden beds sit at ground level, forcing you to bend over constantly for planting, weeding, and harvesting. Tall beds bring the garden up to you. A tall bed is any raised bed between 24 and 36 inches high. At this height, you can sit on the edge and work comfortably, or stand and lean slightly without bending. For many gardeners, especially with back issues, arthritis, or mobility limitations, this eliminates 90% of the pain associated with gardening. Building tall beds is an upfront investment in time and materials, but the payoff is permanent. Use untreated lumber, concrete blocks, or even stacked bales to create walls 24 to 30 inches high. Fill with soil using the lasagna method I described earlier to avoid buying massive amounts of soil. The ideal tall bed is 3 to 4 feet wide, so you can reach the center from either side, and as long as you want. Many gardeners do 8 to 12-foot lengths. At 30 inches high and 3 feet wide, you can sit on the edge and tend the entire bed without standing. The back-saving impact is transformative. Planting seedlings, sit and work at chest height. Weeding, sit and pull weeds without bending. Harvesting, stand and pick at waist to chest height. No stooping, no kneeling, no strain. This method isn't just for people with injuries, it's preventative. If you build tall beds now, you're protecting your back for decades of gardening ahead. I switched to tall beds 3 years ago, and I garden pain-free now. Before, I had chronic lower back pain from hours bent over ground-level beds. Cost and effort? Yes, building tall beds requires initial work, but once built, they last 10 to 20 years with minimal maintenance, and the reduction in daily strain pays back that effort within the first season.
Hack 6. Perennial vegetable integration. And this is the laziest, most productive hack on this list. Perennials are plants you install once and harvest for years. Unlike annuals, tomatoes, peppers, lettuce, that you replant every season, perennials come back on their own, require almost no care, and often produce more over time. Examples: asparagus, planted once, produces for 20 to 30 years. Rhubarb, planted once, produces for 30-plus years. Walking onions, plant once, they self-propagate forever. Perennial herbs like thyme, oregano, sage, chives, plant once, harvest for a decade or more. The work reduction is staggering. With annuals, you start seeds or buy transplants every year, prepare beds, plant, water, weed, fertilize, harvest, then clear and repeat. With perennials, you plant once, mulch around them, and harvest. That's it. No annual replanting, no seed starting, no transplanting. The yield increase surprises people. A single mature asparagus crown produces half a pound to a pound of spears per season. Plant 20 crowns, and you're harvesting 10 to 20 pounds of asparagus annually from a 50-square-foot bed that you planted once a decade ago. Try getting that return on investment from annuals. Perennials also fill gaps. Many produce in early spring, asparagus, rhubarb, perennial onions, when annuals aren't ready yet. Others produce in fall and winter when annual gardens are done. The back-saving aspect. Once established, perennials need almost no intervention, no digging, planting, or transplanting every year. You mulch occasionally, divide them every few years if they outgrow space, and harvest. The most strenuous task is the initial planting, and even that is one-time effort. My garden is now about 30% perennials: asparagus, rhubarb, walking onions, Egyptian onions, horseradish, lovage, sorrel, and perennial herbs. That 30% provides 40% of my total yield and requires maybe 5% of my labor. The math speaks for itself. Hack 7. The broad fork advantage. And this tool revolutionizes soil preparation while protecting your back. A broad fork is a manual tool with 2 handles and multiple tines, usually 5 to 6, spaced 4 to 6 inches apart. It's designed to aerate and loosen soil without turning it. Here's how you use it. Push the tines straight down into soil using your body weight and a foot bar on top of the tool. Rock the handles back toward you, lifting the tines slightly. This fractures compacted soil, creates air channels, and loosens the bed without inverting layers. Pull it out, step back 6 inches, and repeat across the bed. Why this beats rototilling or digging? Rototilling destroys soil structure, kills beneficial organisms, and brings weed seeds to the surface. Digging with a shovel inverts layers, disrupting microbial communities.
Broad forking preserves soil structure, keeps layers intact, and creates pathways for air, water, and roots without destruction. The back-saving magic? You're using your legs and body weight, not your back. Push down with your foot, lean back with your arms. Your legs do the work. Your back stays neutral. Compare this to shoveling, where every scoop involves bending, lifting, and twisting, the trifecta of back injury. Broad forking also reduces the need for tilling entirely. Once soil is loose and healthy, you can plant directly into it season after season with only occasional broad forking to refresh aeration. Many gardeners broad fork once in spring, once in fall, and that's all the soil prep they do. I broad fork my beds twice a year, early spring before planting and late fall after clearing spent crops. Each bed, roughly 30 square feet, takes about 5 minutes to broad fork. Total time for my entire garden, maybe an hour twice a year. That's replaced what used to be hours of rototilling or spade digging. Broad forks aren't cheap. They run $150 to $300, but they last decades and eliminate the need for powered tillers, which cost more and require maintenance, fuel, and storage. Integration and synergy. Now here's where these 7 hacks become exponentially powerful. They synergize. Use them together, and each one amplifies the others. Deep mulch pathways combined with lasagna beds mean you're building soil and eliminating weeds simultaneously with zero digging. Add chop and drop mulching, and you're feeding those beds without buying inputs. Integrate perennials, and sections of your garden become almost zero maintenance while producing abundantly. Tall beds filled using lasagna layers and aerated with a broad fork once a year give you ergonomic, highly fertile growing space that requires minimal ongoing effort. Trench composting in those tall beds feeds plants directly where they grow while eliminating compost pile labor. This is how you build a garden system that works for you instead of you working for it. You front-load effort, setting up pathways, building tall beds, planting perennials, and then you coast. The systems maintain themselves. Your labor shifts from constant maintenance to occasional management. I've watched this transformation in my own garden. Year 1, I spent 10 to 15 hours per week maintaining 800 square feet. I was exhausted, my back hurt, and I questioned whether it was worth it. Year 2, after implementing these hacks, I was down to 6 to 8 hours per week. Year 3, 2 to 3 hours per week, and I'm harvesting more food than ever. The key is committing to the upfront work. Building tall beds takes a weekend. Establishing deep mulch pathways takes a few hours. Planting perennials takes an afternoon. But once done, these systems serve you for years or decades. So there they are. 7 forgotten organic gardening hacks that grow more food with less work and save your back. Deep mulch permanent pathways eliminate weeds and cushion your steps. Lasagna gardening builds soil without digging. Chop and drop mulching fertilizes and mulches simultaneously. Trench composting feeds plants directly where they grow. Tall beds bring the garden up to you, eliminating bending. Perennial vegetables produce for years from a single planting, and the broad fork aerates soil using your legs, not your back. These aren't new ideas. They're old wisdom that industrial agriculture buried, but they work better for home gardeners because they're designed for small-scale, low-input, high-output food production. Our grandparents fed families with these techniques. You can too. Your action plan. Pick 2 hacks to start with this season. If you struggle with weeding, tackle deep mulch pathways and chop and drop mulching. If your back hurts, build 1 tall bed and get a broad fork. If you want less annual work, plant perennial vegetables this fall. Don't try to implement all 7 at once. Build your system gradually over 2 to 3 years. If these hacks changed how you think about gardening, hit that like button. Subscribe because I'm testing more forgotten techniques and sharing results. And drop a comment. Tell me what country you're watching from and which hack you're trying first. I read every comment and reply to as many as I can. Until next time, garden smarter, not harder. Save your back,
Grow more food, and remember that the best techniques are often the oldest ones. Now go reclaim these forgotten hacks and transform your garden.